Hello and welcome back to LSAT Games. Let me adjust my microphone here. We are going to work today on the first game of PrepTest 91's actual scored games section. So the last video I did was the first game of the experimental section on PrepTest 91. Today's video is all about the first game of section 3. That is questions 1 through 5, the salespeople in the territories game. Once again, so as not to get in hot water with LSAC, you can see nothing behind me, not the actual game. You need the game in front of you either on LSAC's Law Hub, or you can purchase the game from Amazon and I'm sure any other fine bookstores. If you check the description though, you can see the link to LSAC's Triple Prep Volume 1, which is a book that has 3 prep tests, PrepTest 90, 91, and 92. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we've got 5 salespeople. This is PrepTest 91, Game 1, questions 1 through 5, Section 3. 5 salespeople, L, M, N, O, and P, classic, and they are assigned to one of 3 territories, F, G, or H. So this very much feels like a grouping game to me. Now, as is the case with a lot of grouping games, we don't necessarily know the sizes of these groups. So we don't know how many salespeople are assigned to each one of the territories. For that matter, we don't even know if every single territory gets used, at least not until we jump into the conditions. Right now, all we know is that some number of salespeople are going to be placed into some of these regions. Let's figure out what the conditions tell us about this. Each of the territories has no more than 2 salespeople assigned to it. So I'm going to represent this with a kind of anti-block. I can't have 3. I can have 1 or 2, but I can't have 3. Marcia does not share a territory with P, so very good. Another anti-block. M and P are never together. L shares a territory with M, or else is assigned to a territory to which no one else is assigned. So basically, either it's going to be L by himself, or it's going to be L with M. But those are the only 2 possibilities for L. P shares territory H with another salesperson. Okay, so we have to have 2 blanks in territory H, and P is one of those 2. Now, as far as the deductions go, what can we figure out? If I can't have any more than 2 salespeople in any given territory, that means I can't do something like 3 in territory F and then none in territory G. So this tells me that every territory is going to have to be used at least once. Now, I don't know if it will be used twice, so I'm going to put a little question mark here. Obviously, I only have 5 salespeople total, so some territory is going to be 1, and then the other 2, H and another one, are going to be 2, but I don't know which one right now. We can say for sure there's no way that M is in H, because M and P can never go together. And then for that matter, there's no way for L to end up in H either. Obviously, L can't be by himself in territory H because P is already there. And if L is with someone, L's with M, and M can't go in H. So I know for sure L does not go there. There are only 2 other salespeople, so I think it's probably worth writing down either O or N is going to fill out territory H. But I think that may be it. I'm not seeing any other obvious deductions here. I mean, I could say things like, either L or M end up in F or G, but there are only 3 groups in this case, so I think that's pretty obvious. I think we can jump into the questions. Number 1 is a pick a clue style question. Which one of the following could be the assignment of salespeople to territories F, G, and H? So we're just giving a possible scenario on number 1. First rule says we can't have more than 2. Is there any territory with more than 2? I'm not seeing that rule broken, so we can move on. M is never with P. Now that's a problem on answer choice B. We've got M and P together in H. Is there any other answer choice where M and P are together? I'm not seeing it. L is either by himself or with M. So C is a problem because it has L with Neil. And then I think we're good otherwise. P shares territory H with someone. So D is a problem because it does not have P in territory H. And then E is also a problem because P is in H, but by himself or herself, I guess. There is no O or N there, and so only answer choice A is left. Time to move on to our specific questions. Number 2, right away, we have if Neil is assigned to territory F, so let's go ahead and also bring down P there. Which one of the following could be true? Well, again, either O or N always had to be the other person who was with P in territory H, so right now it has to be O. I think for L and M, though, there are two other possibilities right now. It could be that L and M are together in territory G, but it could just as easily be the case that M is with N in territory F, and then L is by himself in territory G. Because again, L is either by himself or with M, and those are the two possibilities there. I think that's it though. Let's see, it's a could be true question. A, Lewis is assigned to territory F. That is not one of the possibilities. Lewis always ends up in territory G here. B, Marcia is assigned to territory F. Yes, that's exactly right. So we're done. Number 2 is B. Again, you want to be in the habit, especially on could be true questions, of once you find an answer choice that could be true, you move on. It is, of course, possible you could make a mistake. That would be sad, but it's better to be in the habit of moving on and having the additional time that gives you than constantly checking all 5 answer choices. That's just going to take way too much time. Let's move on to number 3, our next specific question. If O is assigned to a territory to which no one else is assigned, which one of the following could be true? O by herself means for sure it's P and N, and it also means that there's no way L is by himself here, because we can't have 2 different people by themselves. Now, that doesn't tell me where O goes, so I think, once again, we have 2 possibilities. Either O is by herself in territory F, and L and M have to be together in G, or I could just as easily see that the other way around. L and M in territory F, O by herself in territory G. Let's see, this one was another could be true. A, Lewis is assigned to territory H. That is not possible. In fact, that's never possible, so cross off A. B, Neil is assigned to territory F. Well, no, if O is by herself, Neil has to be the other person with P, so there's no way that it's B. C, O is assigned to territory F. Yep, that's a possibility. We have that right there on our diagram. Select C and move on. 4, we're going to skip because it's a general question, but we do have one more specific question here. Number 5, only one salesperson is assigned to territory G, then which one of the following must be true? So only one salesperson is assigned to territory G. Now, of course, we still know P and someone is going to go in slot H. Obviously, we've seen it's possible to have something like O by herself in territory G, but the other possibility is that it would be L. So I think I'm going to try out those 2 possibilities. What if it's O? What if it's L? Couldn't be something like M. If it's O by herself in G, again, then we know for sure L and M are together in F, and N would have to be in slot H. But actually, now that I think about it, O and N here are interchangeable. The only reason O was by herself on number 3 is that's specifically what the question said. In this particular case, if someone's by themselves in G, it could be either O or N, flip-flopping there, and then L and M, the other 2 elements, would just have to go in slot F. If it's L by himself in G, though, what can we say? I mean, P obviously is in H. M in that case would have to be in F. M can't be in territory H. And again, the whole point here is the person in G is by themselves. That's what number 5 said. But then we've got another flip-flop. Either O or N or O could fill out those other 2 slots. We wanted to know what must be true. The only thing I'm seeing is that M has to be in slot F, which is answer choice C. Very good. So number 5 is C. Only one other question here. Number 4, the general question. Which one of the following cannot be true? So we can just use our previous specific scenarios to eliminate possibilities. A, Lewis is assigned to territory F. No, that's fine. I see that here on number 3, so we can get rid of A. B, Lewis is assigned to territory G. No, we saw that on number 2. That's fine. Cross off B. C, Olga is assigned to territory F. No, that was also a possibility on number 3. Cross off C. D, Lewis is assigned to a territory to which no other salesperson is assigned. I mean, for sure that's true. That was one of our clues, which doesn't guarantee that it happens, but, it would be a little odd if it had never happened. So it should be answer choice E. Now, this is a short game. Maybe I just want to check quickly and see why it is that this is impossible. M is assigned to a territory to which no other salesperson is assigned. I mean, obviously we think that's the answer, so we've never seen it before. And yeah, so we said earlier, there's only one person who can ever be by themselves. We've seen it be O, we've seen it possibly be N, of course we've seen it be L, but there's no way it can be M, because then L would not be with M, and that would mean L would also supposed to be alone. But we can't have two people who are alone. So yes, number 4 is E. There's no way M is the salesperson that's all by herself. All right, let's check our answers. What have we got? A, B, C, E, and C. We got them all. Very good. It's always nice to get them all right. Pretty easy game to begin a section. It's always a little iffy with a grouping game where you don't know the sizes of the groups. That can be a little tough. In this particular case, it was pretty limited. We could only have either 1 or 2 people in each group after that first clue that said we can't have any more than 2 people in a group. So even though we didn't know precisely how it worked out, not a terribly difficult game. What really makes the grouping games where you don't know the sizes of the groups tough is when you can reuse the elements. So the fact that each salesperson only goes into one of the regions simplifies this game quite a bit. It's always a little tough to begin with a grouping game rather than an order game, so I might have skipped this to look ahead and see if there's an order game, but I don't know yet. We'll just have to see next week when we do the other games from PrepTest 91. That is all I have for you today. Comment down below if you want me to move a particular game up in the order. Otherwise, I will see y'all next time.